Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining for today's webinar on COVID-19, a mysterious infection, limited evidence, unanswerable questions. I am Dr. K. Shahal Hamid, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Hajee Rowther Howdia College, Uthamapalayam, and coordinator of this webinar. I would like to introduce today's resource person, Dr. K. Parthiban. I am really proud to say that Dr. Parthiban is an alumni of our college. He has done his UG degree in our college from 2001 to 2004, completed his PG degree from Tyagaraja College, Madurai. He has got his MPhil from Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. He got his PhD from Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli in the year 2016. He has got a minor research project from UGC in the year 2012. He worked as an assistant professor in the Department of Microbiology in our college for about 10 years from 2006 to 2016. His areas of research are antimicrobial compounds, biopolymer, polymer medicine. He has published about 13 articles in the reputed international journals. He is an editorial board member in International Journal of Biology, Canada. From a sincere and obedient student I have seen in his early days, he is now a dedicated and enthusiastic teacher, and I wish him more success in his future. Now I handed over the session to our resource person, Dr. Parthiban. I welcome you all. Once again, I welcome all the participants. Now I handed over the session to our resource person.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Professor. First of all, I thank the Principal of Hajee of Howdia College, Hajee Dr. H. Muhammad Miran, and Head of Chemistry Department, Dr. Noor Muhammad, and Coordinator of this event, Professor Dr. K. Shahal Hamid, and Organizing Secretary, Mr. Arivalhan, and all the faculty members of Chemistry Department, students and viewers of this webinar. I thank the Chemistry Department for inviting me to deliver the lecture in this webinar in the title of COVID-19, a mysterious infection, limited evidence, and unanswerable questions. The World Health Organization has declared COVID-19 disease outbreak as a worldwide pandemic. In the past few decades, newly evolved coronavirus has posed a global threat to public health. There is a limited understanding on the immune response, especially to the COVID-19 infection. The deeper understanding of infection between coronavirus and immune system of the host may reduce the risk of infection by coronaviral infections. The world is currently impacted by the novel coronavirus disease. The World Health Organization coordinates the global efforts to manage the impacts, and it declared COVID-19 as a global pandemic on March 11, 2020. The studies have suggested that it might take more than a decade for the world to recover the normal situation. In everyone's mind, there are some unanswerable questions about COVID-19 pandemic. So this session will answer all your questions which blooms in your mind. The COVID-19 causing coronavirus is a natural or genetically manipulated virus. For the past 6 months, there are a lot of rumors in social media, news, in newspapers, media, which stated that this outbreak has planned by certain country. This is the beginning of the Third World War. Specifically, some countries spread this virus purposefully, so we don't have any answer. So why this infection is more severe than other viral infection? Are the proposed drugs are effective against COVID-19? If the proposed drug, it kills really the viruses, or it reduces the symptoms, or it boosts the immunity, if possible to produce vaccine, and when the COVID-19 outbreaks will comes to end. So these questions are roles in everyone's head continuously in our day-by-day life. And hope this session will answer all these questions. How viruses differs from other organisms. We know that viruses are quite diverse from all the organisms. Unlike all biological entities, some viruses have RNA as a genetic material and some have DNA as a genetic material. The viruses are very small and the size is about 200 nanometers in diameter. The viruses can replicate or multiply only within the host cell. That means the viruses are active only inside the host cell. Once it's shed out from the host cell, either it may be a human cells or animal or a plant cell, it is like an inactive material. Our viruses are alive. The viruses are obligate intracellular parasites. The obligate means it strictly survive or multiply only inside the cells. The viruses do not carry any metabolic processes independently. It always depends on the host cell, either animal cells or a human cells or a plant cells. It depends on the host inflammatory system for its multiplication. They cannot generate ATP as like animals and plants, bacteria and other microorganisms. They do not possess ribosome and cannot independently form a synthesized protein using messenger RNA. The viruses can replicate only within the host system. So based on these characters, according to the stringent definition of life, we clearly stated that the viruses are non-living things. Coronavirus. So we hear a lot of things about coronavirus for the past 6 months through the social media, newspaper, and all the sources. So now I give a brief introduction about the coronavirus. The coronaviruses are the largest group of viruses belongs to the nidoviral order. It is an enveloped virus and the genetic material of the coronavirus is positive single strand RNA. The size of coronavirus is very large when compared to other viral groups. The size is about 34 kilobase and it is a envelope virus. From the outside the envelope, some of the projections are arise, which is called as spike. That spike is responsible for the pathogenicity of the coronavirus. Prior to the SARS coronavirus outbreak, the coronaviruses were only thought to cause mild and self-limiting respiratory infections in humans. So there are four different types of coronaviruses. Among the four, two of the viruses cause diseases in human beings, namely alpha coronaviruses and beta coronaviruses. The alpha coronaviruses are isolated nearly 50 years ago and the beta coronaviruses are recently being identified. So these viruses are endemic in human population, which causing 15 to 30% of respiratory tract infection in every year. Human coronavirus 0643, it is a beta coronavirus, it's isolated from same location but isolated in different years shows a significant genetic variability. That means it clearly indicates the virus mutated frequently. The COVID-19 coronavirus is a natural or genetically manipulated virus. So based on the genetic material of the virus, we divide the virus into two groups, that is DNA viruses and RNA viruses. When compared to all the organisms, the RNA viruses have one of the highest mutation rates. So mutation is the process of the changes in the genetic material. The changes happen naturally or exposed to certain harsh environment like radiation or chemicals. The changes in DNA leads to changes in the amino acids of protein. So it may determine the pathogenicity of the virus. The viral mutation thus occurs at high rate on a regular basis, but we have not yet encountered many examples of rapid progression towards new phenotype. Where small changes in the genetic content of virus have considerable impact on the way disease is manifested. An TMRCA study of RNA-dependent RNA polymerase gene, which clearly stated that the coronaviruses are evaluated before 10,000 years ago. So the coronaviruses are not a new viruses, they are primitive groups, they are evaluated 10,000 years ago. So this result was questioned on the long-lasting relationship of coronaviruses and the host. The natural selection and strong negative selection result in the saturation of genome. The high genetic variability of virus has been suspected for some time, but only recent technical advances have allowed us to observe and describe this natural phenomenon. It is notable how stable they are as a population or a species and how they continue to produce disease which have been clinically described for decades or centuries. This data shows the molecular evolution of coronavirus. A single mutation in certain gene leads to the development of unique type of viruses. So based on the genetic evidence, it was clearly stated that coronavirus outbreak is a natural phenomenon. The coronavirus is a naturally evaluated virus. It mutates frequently and it forms a new different types of viruses. Simply said, the viruses are more smarter than humans. Why this infection is more severe than other infections? So each and every organism have a specific target site, so which infects the specific target site. The target site of coronavirus is angiotensin convertase enzyme receptor protein. So this protein is present on surface of many cell types, including lung, heart, blood vessels, kidney, liver, and gastrointestinal tract. This ACE2 protein is present in epithelium cells in the nose, mouth, lung, and it is highly abundant in the chambers of alveoli of lungs. The major role of ACE2 protein is regulating the process of blood pressure, wound healing, and inflammation. This ACE2 receptor protein helps modulate the many activities of a protein called angiotensin 2. This angiotensin 2 is responsible for increasing the blood pressure, increasing the immune response like inflammation, and increasing the damage to blood vessels lining and various type of tissue injury. So there is a coordination between the ACE2 receptor protein and angiotensin 2 hormone. So these balance maintain the process of immune response. So when the SARS-CoV-2 virus binds to the ACE2 receptor protein, it prevents ACE2 from performing its normal function to regulate angiotensin 2 signaling. Thus, ACE2 action is inhibited and making more angiotensin 2 available to injure tissues, especially to the lung and heart in COVID-19 patients. Some evidences suggest that ACE2 may be higher in patients with hypertension, diabetes, coronary heart diseases, and the patients with autoimmune disorders. The virus impact on tissues that express ACE2, including lung, heart, where damage and inflammation can occur. The kidneys, liver, and digestive tract can also be injured. If our immune system fails to control the infection, immunity is the process of development of resistance against disease and disease-causing microorganisms. Our immune system evokes two different types of immune response to protect our body. So they are cell-mediated immunity and antibody-mediated immunity. In the cell-mediated immunity, there is an active participation of immune cells and their product against the infected cells. And in antibody-mediated immunity, there is an active protection of antibodies by a B cell against pathogens. So normally, when the virus enters the body, it hijacks the air organelles and turns the cell into virus banking factory. The cell will eventually loaded with virus and it multiplies and it bursts and release thousands of progeny virus and it is ready to infect the new uninfected cells. So for the viral infection, the cell-mediated immune response is most common. And for maximum of the bacterial infection, the humoral mediated immunity is take place. The cell-mediated immune response for viral infection is mainly through the type of interference, natural killer cells, and the participation of some other immune cells. Adaptive immunity also plays an important part in viral clearance via activated cytotoxic T cells that destroy virus-infected cells and antibody-producing B cells that target virus-specific antigens. The antiviral response is crucial to eliminate the invading virus. It might also cause massive production of inflammatory cytokines and damage to host tissue. In COVID-19 disease, the cytokine storm is one of the major issues in the COVID-19 diseases. The cytokine storm results in the overexpression of our immune system, which leads to the production of excessive amount of immune active substances like cytokines, chemokines, including interferons alpha, interferons gamma, interleukin 6, interleukin 12, 18, 10. So these are the cytokines and chemokines. These cytokines and chemokines in normal level, it enhance our immunity or it helps our body to protect the infection caused by the microorganisms. But in case of COVID-19 diseases, our immune system overexpressed and produced an excessive amount of these kind of cytokines and chemokines. So due to the overexpression of our immune system, the activated T cells produce an excessive amount of these components, which cause a severe immune injury in the lungs of the infected patient. So the overproduction of cytokine caused by aberrant immune activation is known as cytokine storm. For COVID-19 diseases, the physician they proposed a lot of drugs, medicine. So the ultimate aim of the proposed drugs and medicine are not to kill the viruses. The aim of the drugs are mainly to reduce the activity of our immune system and mainly to reduce the secretion of these cytokines and interleukins. Are the proposed drugs are safe or effective against COVID-19? So normally for microbial infection like bacteria, fungi, and other parasitic infection, we use antibiotics. So we know very well about antibiotics. Antibiotics are the substances which are produced by microorganisms which have the ability to kill or neutralize their activity. But in case of viral infection, there is no antibiotics. Normally, for controlling the viral infection, we use some antiviral drugs. So in case of COVID-19, so they propose some antiviral drugs. Somehow it works on coronavirus infection. But worldwide, they propose certain drugs for the treatment of COVID-19. So they are that is a disease-modifying anti-rheumatoid drug, uh, tocilizumab. It is a interleukin 6 receptor inhibitor. Baricitinib, it is a Janus kinase inhibitor. Anakinra, it is a interleukin 1 receptor antagonistic. And we know the hydroxychloroquine is an anti-malarial drug. So when we look at these all drugs are somehow they are the immune suppressor. So they modify the immunity by reducing the secretion of these cytokines because one of the major issue or the major cause of death in COVID-19 patients is the cytokine storm. It is a big challenge for the treatment of COVID-19 patients. So in order to avoid the death of COVID-19 patients, we have to reduce the secretion of cytokines and other chemokines and other immunoactive substances. So the proposed drug, the aim of the proposed drug is for the reduction of our immunity or reduce the concentration of cytokines. So we know very well about hydroxychloroquine. The hydroxychloroquine is mainly used against the malarial infection. So malaria is caused by the parasite called the plasmodium parasite, Plasmodium falciparum. The mechanism of action of the hydroxychloroquine is simple. It increases the pH level in cell. So the parasite fails to form the hemozyme by degrading the hemoglobin, and it fails to form the signature during the life cycle of malarial parasite. And also this hydroxychloroquine is used as a drug for rheumatoid arthritis. So rheumatoid arthritis is one of the autoimmune diseases. So autoimmune disease is defined as our immune system evokes an immune response against our own cells and organs. It leads to the damage. So there are different types of different varieties of autoimmune diseases like rheumatoid arthritis, type 1 diabetes mellitus, systemic lupus erythematosus, Hashimoto's thyroiditis. These are the different varieties of autoimmune diseases. So the patients, the person than other than others. So that in the case of COVID-19, so when we look at the data, so mostly the European populations and Americans are more susceptible to COVID-19 when compared to other people, because the report stated that in America, nearly about 10 to 20 percentage of the people are in the status of autoimmune diseases. And in Italy, about 5% of people are in the complication of autoimmune diseases. So the patients or the people with autoimmune diseases, they are easily susceptible for the COVID-19. If possible to produce vaccine, normally vaccine is a biological preparation that improves immunity to a particular disease. So the vaccines are prepared by using the same organism, either killed or the live attenuated form of the disease causing microorganism. For the production of the vaccine or for the synthesis of vaccine, the organism must have a certain characters. The first one is it should be genetically stable. So then only it is feasible to synthesis a vaccine for a particular disease. But when we consider the most of the RNA viruses like HIV and other retroviruses and these COVID-19 viruses, these are the RNA viruses. Genetically, these viruses are unstable. These viruses are frequently undergoes the mutation process. So it is a big challenge for us to create a vaccine. That is the first thing. And another thing is For the production of vaccine, normally the vaccines are produced by means of two methods. So one is cultivated for prolonged period to remove the pathogenicity, and another one is skilled methods by treating the chemicals or exposure to the heat to remove the pathogenicity. Say, for example, in case of polio virus, oral polio viral vaccine, so they cultivate the polio virus for prolonged period, nearly 14 years in the monkey kidney epithelial cells. So when we expose a disease-causing organism in an unfavorable condition or a harsh environment for a prolonged period, it gradually reduces and it gradually loses its disease-causing character. And finally, at one point, it reaches its saturation point and it fails to cause any infection, but the antigenicity character will remain in that organism. And in case of rabies virus vaccine, they cultivate the rabies virus for nearly 7 to 8 years in a dead embryo cell. It is an unfavorable condition. So this is the normal method of synthesis vaccine. In case of coronavirus, now it is very difficult because now the WHO they declare this is a pandemic. So within a short period, it is very difficult to synthesize the active vaccine. But nowadays, some countries they propose they already they finish the vaccine. So we are not sure how the vaccines are active because day by day the viruses get mutated. So we are not assured the vaccines are effective or not. And recent studies states that stress, hypochondria, that is fear of disease, may lead to the hormonal imbalance and it indirectly affects the immunity. So it's an throughout the world the panic about the COVID-19 diseases. So the stress may definitely lead to the reduction of our immunity. It may reduce our immunity against not only the COVID-19, it completely reduce our immunity. So avoiding the stress and hypochondria to the COVID-19 is one of the major things to overcome the disease in the current situation. And already I said the autoimmune disease and immune modulatory status play a major role in a pathogenicity of COVID-19. The people with the immune modulatory status are more susceptible for the COVID-19. So no need to panic about the COVID-19 infection. So the people with the immune modulatory status, the people with the coronary heart diseases and diabetes, mellitus, thyroid disease, they should take care of their health to avoid the coronavirus infection. Okay. Yes, thank you very much for your cooperation. If any doubts, you can ask your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Parthi. Now,
Okay.
thank you for a nice presentation. Now, the vote of thanks given by G. Arivalagan, Assistant Professor of Chemistry.
Good afternoon to all. I am G. Arivalagan on behalf of PG Department of Chemistry, Hajee Rowther Howdia College. Happy to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. I would to express my gratitude to our research person, Dr. K. Parthiban, Senior Lecturer, St. Joseph University College of Health and Allied Science, for gracing the webinar and making an excellent and interesting presentation. I would like to express my sincere gratitude to our college managing committee for their support and guidance. I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to our respected principal, Kaji Dr. Hajj Muhammad Miran, for his kind encouragement. I would also thank our beloved HOD, Dr. S.A. Noor Muhammad, our staff members for their motivation and support. I am happy to express my thanks to the coordinator of this webinar, Dr. K. Sahul Hamid, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, LMS Coordinator, Mr. S. Abubakar Siddiq, Assistant Professor of English, LMS Member, Mr. A. Ahmed Faiz, Assistant Professor of Arabic, non-teaching staff, student, participant from Tamil Nadu, other states and other countries. Once again, I thank you for your kind cooperation. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, one and all, for all the participants. The feedback form will be sent in the WhatsApp group within 10 minutes. It will be active for about 1 hour. Once you submitted the feedback form, you will be eligible to get a certificate. The certificate will be issued within 2 or 3 days.